Hey everybody, Matt Goldratt here with SRP Medical Marketing, and today I want to talk to you about what is the best business book that you've ever read. Well, I have actually in my office, you're going to actually see some of my lights, but you're going to see, whoops, there we go. I have a whole couple of bookcases right there, and I actually have a couple of more bookcases upstairs. When I made my recent move, I actually got rid of about 90% of my books, simply because I found that most of them were pretty much the same thing over and over again. But that bookcase over there, those two bookcases actually represent some of my favorite books. And I love books because I can read something like this and I can, in a couple of hours, gain this huge amount of knowledge and wisdom, and I can use it as a reference. In fact, I'm such a reader that I actually block out time on my calendar to read regularly. I will take a lot of afternoons. One of the things that you'll learn about me is I enjoy a good cigar. So a lot of times in the afternoon, you can find me over in the cigar lounge, sitting there reading a book, killing a couple of hours. And it's one of my favorite things to do. But the thing I want to share with you today is some of my favorite books of all time. Now, for years, I had a mentor by the name of Rob Berkley. He has since unfortunately passed away about a year plus ago, almost 2 years ago. But he coached me for well over 9 years, and he had a list of the top 5 business books to read annually. And what he asked me to do was curate my own list and then read those books each and every single year. And it was interesting how rereading a book that really had an impact on me, how rereading it annually changed the way I looked at it, and I got different nuggets out of it. And so, one of the questions I have for you is, what's your favorite business book, right? So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about this one, and it's called The Goal. It's by Eliyahu Goldratt. And it's a book on the theory of constraints. Now, this book has sold, it says over 2 million copies sold. This book is probably 10 years old, this version. But it is one of the seminal books when it comes to the theory of constraints and the role of constant improvement. So what is the theory of constraint? Well, constraints are very simply put, they can be positive and they can be negative, right? Like you can use a constraint in your schedule to get something done. So like, you ever notice how the week before you go on vacation to get all this stuff done because you have this constraint that you're not going to be in the following week? Well, on the flip side, in business, if you have a constraint, it actually constricts output. It reduces output. And so if we can fix the constraint, we can actually increase the output. Now, this is done from the context of a old school manufacturing plant. But if you think about this from the medical standpoint, from a medical practice and from a business, it's the exact same thing, right? So you have a constraint. So let's say you have this constraint of conversions. Let's say that you're not converting enough patients. Well, that constraint is actually negatively impacting the business. And so we need to focus our energy on fixing the constraint, of making the constraint a non-constraint. Now, you'll notice that this book is not bent and dog-eared. The reason why is, well, this is actually a story. So it's not like your traditional business book. It's a story of this guy who's got to turn around his plant, right? And it's really, quite frankly, fascinating. It's a great book to read. So it's an actual story, but I actually listened to it on audiobook. Now there are some things that I just do better with audiobook. This is one of them. So I listen to this every single year. I'll probably listen to it when I'm down at the beach in a couple of weeks on vacation. I may, like I said, I have a regular list of books, but this is just one of them. So here's my question for you is, what book or books, business books, have impacted you the most? Okay. So what book and or books have impacted you the most? So let me put this question up here. All right. So I'm going to type this in. What business book, and I'm going to put parentheses around the S, have impacted you most? Okay. And I'm going to show this, and I think I've got a typo in there. Who cares? But what business books have impacted you the most? And what I want you to do is post them down below, okay? Comment down below. Love to see your list. Maybe there'll be a book on there that I haven't read or I'll want to read again. One of the other books that I read on a regular basis is, I'll read Good to Great. That's one of my favorite books. I have a goal setting book called Success that I read on a regular basis. If you can find it, it's out of print. I have a couple of marketing books that I read on a regular basis that are the all-time classics. And again, it just always takes me back to the fundamentals. I'm a really big believer in the fundamentals of, being a former golf professional. If something's bad in your swing, it's probably because of the fundamentals. So again, share below what business books have impacted you the most. Post that below. And get yourself a copy of The Goal. Either read it or go ahead and get it on an audiobook. I think you'll find it absolutely fascinating. And so I hope that helps for you. That's all I have for today. Y'all have a great day. Hope that your business and your practices are getting back up to speed. And I will talk to you soon. Thanks.